What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So you saw the title and the thumbnail. We are talking about another hit in the Voux line from Paris Corner. Today we are talking about Voux Zingy, which is supposed to be inspired by Torino 21. I feel like it's kind of a cross between Renaissance and Torino 21 personally. Definitely leans a little bit more Torino 21, but there's also a couple of differences that don't make it a carbon copy. It's kind of a twist inspired spin more than a direct clone, but we'll dive into that. This was sent over by the folks over at Aroma Concepts. Of course, it has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm going to say about the fragrance. If you're new here, you didn't know that, but you'll learn that here today. If you're here on a regular basis, you already knew that, and I'm being a broken record. So let's just get into this review, shall we? Stay tuned. So we have to look at the bottle because they are very nice. Lime green felt-like material. You actually can see the juice level through this, believe it or not. Now, the light's coming through towards me, so I can see it. You can't, unfortunately. You do have this metal plate. Emir line Voux Zingy. Information here on the bottom. Emir logo on the top. Caps are very nice. Does hold into place, and it is a lot of metal, coated brass or some sort of metal with a plastic filler. And then we do have the usual Paris Corner on top, the atomizer like they do with most of their fragrances, and it's a good atomizer. Does a good job, nothing special. Let's dive into the scent. So I have the notes on screen for you guys, and what you'll see initially is the greenery is basil. Now, this does come across a little minty, more so than green and spicy like basil traditionally does, and I think it's because of this very soapy lavender oil that they use. It's a cheaper lavender, so it's very soapy. Soapy, clean, fresh, full of citruses. Definitely reminded me the first time I smelled it, like, is this kind of like Renaissance? Because it's a little minty green. Then when I saw the notes, I was like, that's not Renaissance. And a couple people in the comments for the first impressions in the haul video mentioned it's supposed to be Torino 21. I was like, that makes sense. It does smell like Torino 21. But it kind of smells like a cross between the two to me personally. And I think the biggest change, the reason for that, is this super soapy lavender makes the green basil note a mintier, fresh green note than it's normally in fragrance. So I think that's the case. So very juicy fruit, mega fresh, soapy clean, bright fragrance. Clean and musky. It just smells really good. This is great for any time. This is an anytime clean, fresh citrus. Anytime. Doesn't matter if it's cold outside, if you're at work, if you're wearing a tank top at the beach. It does not matter. The attire, the setting, or the climate. This will work. It smells really good. Who doesn't like a really good fresh fragrance? Don't worry. I'll wait. Because there's very few that don't. This just works. The bottle's really nice. The price is right. I believe it's $37 currently at Aroma Concepts before the 10% off code. Of course, you don't have to make a purchase to watch this video. I just bring it up for those that are going to want to check it out. Just smells really good. It's that simple. It's that simple. If you're looking for a great soapy, clean, fresh citrus that's a little minty green, more so than it is spicy green, kind of a cross between more Torino 21 with a little bit of Renaissance. Two of Xerjoff's better, fresher fragrances, like upper echelon, upper tier. It's not on the same quality level as far as oil quality, but still very impressive nonetheless. This line seems to be a hell of a banger-filled line so far from what I've experienced. So if you're looking for soapy, clean, fresh, this is definitely a good one. Now, as far as performance, middle of the road for me. Could be some nose fatigue, could just be middle of the road performance, but it's been middle of the road, average stuff, nothing beastly, nothing weak. In that 6-hour range of longevity, 5 to 7 hours really is what I've been clocking it. So let's call it right smack dab in the middle, around 6. Projection, very bright, very loud in the first hour. I would call it in that moderate leaning, moderate heavy range for the first hour. Then the sillage is on that moderate to mild side. Sits a bit close to the skin. Light whiffs here and there to remind you it's there. It's nothing that's constantly in your face unless you're spraying directly under your nose, like, you know, right under your chest and your collarbones, under your neck here. Yeah, you'll probably get some quick nose fatigue. That's a good way to wear your receptors out in your nose, is having it all right here. Pro tip. I know you'll see every Tom, Dick, and Harry that puts their face on camera show you to spray up here. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just telling you the logical side of things is if it's constantly under your nose, logically your nose is going to wear out faster. Just throwing the logic at you. I'm not calling anybody a liar or saying they're wrong. Some people just spray wildly. On certain fragrances, I do the shit too. So keep that in mind. If you want to smell it longer, keep it away from your nose. Let it come to you. Even if you're heavy spraying, I still wouldn't spray much up here. Sides, back, arms, elbows. Some people like do behind the knees and shit. Like, they get creative. I get it. Make the aroma rise. It's still a pulse point behind the knees. You can get creative with it, but I would still advise avoiding this. It will help your case. Because for me personally, it's about personal wearing experience and me smelling it. I don't give a shit if another person smells me. If they do and they like it, bonus. Might get a compliment. Sure, tell me I smell good. I'm not going to reject that. Who doesn't want to be told they smell good if they're in the fragrance and they're liking the fragrance they're wearing? Added bonus. So around the horn, you could basically call it an average performer for my experience with it. I've been testing it for several days now, about a week roughly. And that's what I come up with. Across the board, average. Final thoughts on Voux Zingy from Paris Corner in their Amir range. I think this is a very good, bordering great fragrance. If performance was a little bit better, it would jump into that upper level tier of a great, straight up great fragrance. But for now, I think it's a very good 7.75 out of 10, which is, in my rating system, very good, bordering great, because you get to great once you get into the 8 out of 10 range. Very good is the 7s, which is still very good. So this is the kind of fragrance everybody should have something like this in their collection. Everybody needs that go-to dumb reach, as it's called, smart reach, some people like to call it, where you just don't have to think about it. You just want to spray something real quick. It's the last thing before you're about to head out. You're like, oh, let me spray a fragrance before I forget. And you don't have time to look at your collection and pick the perfect scent profile to go with the outfit, the setting, the where you're going to be, your mood for the day, all the things that can go involved with picking the right scent. And you just want to go with something that's just going to work for everything. This is just going to work for everything. You can just grab this, give yourself however many sprays you deem necessary, and roll. Head out the door, go do your thing. You're going to smell great. It's going to last you for most of your day. I mean, 5 to 7 hours is most of your day. It's not all of your day. If you feel like you need more, you can always take it with you, make a small decant, and so on. So for me, I think it's a really good purchase at the sub $40 price point in the $30 range. Versus what it's similar to, it's very close, not exact. And I think that's a good thing. I do think that's a good thing. So it offers something a little bit different. And the bottle's really nice. I know it's not the most important thing, but bottle's a looker, in my opinion. I like the bright colors too, and the felt feels good in hand. Tactile is great. The visual is great. The performance is average. The scent profile is really good. Checks a lot of boxes. So for me, 7.75 out of 10. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on Voux Zingy from Paris Corner. Thank you once again, Aroma Concepts, for sending it my way. I love getting to check out the Paris Corner stuff. They are one of my favorite Middle Eastern brands because they've really stepped their game up in the last 2 years, I would say, to compete with the Lattafas in the fragrance worlds and the Armafs. Because I feel like most people would agree, Lattafa's kind of at the mountaintop. They are the ones to beat. They kind of set the standard. I think Paris Corner plays a really close second fiddle to them these days. Over something like a Fragrance World that has just as many misses as they do hits. Armaf, who's, consistent, but not loads of bangers. Some bangers, but not loads of bangers. Whereas Paris Corner's been dropping bangers. Lattafa's always dropping bangers. Afnan, always pretty good, really good quality, and so on. So I put them in that upper tier for the affordable Middle Eastern stuff, that upper echelon. So, like I said before, there's a link with a code down below if you're interested in checking it out. Again, you don't have to make a purchase to watch my videos, but it's there if you see fit to use it. So, make sure to like, comment, subscribe before you leave. See you on the next one.